November 22nd, 1963. A bright, sunny Friday in Dallas, Texas. President John F. Kennedy, young and charismatic, was in town. His motorcade wound its way through the cheering crowds. The atmosphere was electric, full of hope and excitement. Then, in an instant, everything changed. As the motorcade passed the Texas School Book Depository, shots rang out. Chaos erupted. People screamed, ran for cover, and dove to the ground. The young president, struck by an assassin's bullet, slumped over. The world watched in horror as the news unfolded. The assassination of John F. Kennedy sent shockwaves across the globe. It was a day that would forever be seared into the fabric of history. The events of that day became the focal point of investigations, speculations, and conspiracy theories. The assassination of President Kennedy was more than just the loss of a leader. It was a blow to the very heart of America. Even now, decades later, the assassination of John F. Kennedy remains one of the most debated events in American history. The official investigation, the Warren Commission report, concluded that Lee Harvey Oswald acted alone. However, many people question this conclusion. They point to inconsistencies in the evidence, unanswered questions, and alternative theories. The Texas School Book Depository became a symbol of the mystery surrounding the assassination. Witness accounts vary, timelines are debated, and the movements of key individuals, including Oswald himself, are still subject to scrutiny. The lack of clarity only serves to fuel the flames of speculation. Why was President Kennedy targeted? Was Oswald truly a lone wolf, or part of a larger conspiracy? These questions continue to haunt us, keeping the assassination alive in our collective memory. The assassination of President Kennedy marked a turning point in American history. It shattered the nation's innocence, its belief in the goodness of man. The world, once perceived as a place of order and reason, suddenly seemed chaotic and unpredictable. The events of that day cast a long shadow over the nation. They fueled a climate of fear and suspicion, eroded trust in government, and gave rise to a culture of conspiracy theories. The legacy of John F. Kennedy extends far beyond the tragedy of his death. He is remembered for his charisma, his eloquence, his vision for a better America. His words, "Ask not what your country can do for you, ask what you can do for your country," continue to inspire generations. The assassination serves as a reminder of the fragility of democracy and the enduring power of hope. The Texas School Book Depository, an unremarkable brick building, 7 stories high, overlooking Dealey Plaza. On November 22, 1963, this ordinary building became extraordinary. Constructed in 1901, it originally served as a hardware warehouse. By 1963, it housed the Texas School Book Depository, a distribution center for textbooks. Its employees were ordinary people going about their daily routines. Little did they know that their workplace would soon become the epicenter of a national tragedy. The building's location provided an unobstructed view of Elm Street, the route the presidential motorcade would take. This detail transformed the building from an anonymous structure into a strategic vantage point for an assassin. Lee Harvey Oswald, a 24-year-old former Marine, had recently started working at the Texas School Book Depository. His job was simple, filling book orders and moving boxes. His presence in the building on that fateful day would become the focus of intense scrutiny. Witnesses placed him at various locations within the building at different times. Some reported seeing him on the first floor near the lunchroom, while others claimed to have seen him on the 6th floor. These conflicting accounts fueled suspicions and conspiracy theories. One of the most intriguing pieces of evidence is a photograph taken just moments after the assassination. The photo shows Oswald standing in the doorway of the Texas School Book Depository. The timeline of Oswald's movements remains a puzzle with missing pieces, leaving room for speculation and doubt. The sixth floor of the Texas School Book Depository, a dimly lit space cluttered with boxes of textbooks, became a focal point of the investigation. It was here that the sniper's nest was discovered. Several employees reported seeing or interacting with Lee Harvey Oswald in the hours leading up to the assassination. Their accounts, often fragmented and contradictory, provided glimpses into Oswald's demeanor and movements. Some witnesses claimed to have seen Oswald on the sixth floor shortly before the shooting. Others reported seeing someone who resembled Oswald peering out of the sixth floor window. These eyewitness accounts were often unreliable, clouded by the trauma of the event. Discrepancies in their recollections fueled doubts and conspiracy theories. In the aftermath of the assassination, investigators meticulously combed through the sixth floor of the Texas School Book Depository. Their attention quickly focused on a makeshift sniper's nest, discovered near a corner window. Inside the sniper's nest, investigators discovered 3 spent cartridges and a Mannlicher Carcano rifle. The discovery of the rifle, along with eyewitness accounts placing Oswald on the sixth floor, seemed to solidify the case against him. However, questions lingered. The rifle, purchased by mail order under an assumed name, was notoriously inaccurate. Some forensic experts questioned whether Oswald could have fired 3 shots with such precision. The lack of fingerprints on the rifle and the conflicting eyewitness accounts contributed to the lingering mystery. The sniper's nest raised more questions than it answered. The air in Dealey Plaza still crackled with shock and disbelief. Witness testimonies, raw and often contradictory, formed the first drafts of a narrative that would be scrutinized for decades. Some witnesses could only offer vague descriptions of a man on the sixth floor. Others provided more detailed accounts of a figure standing near the window, a rifle in hand. Howard Brennan, a steamfitter, provided one of the most compelling eyewitness accounts. He described seeing a man firing a rifle from the sixth-floor window. Brennan's description of the shooter bore a striking resemblance to Lee Harvey Oswald. Amidst the confusion, a narrative began to emerge, pointing towards a lone gunman. Yet, even in these early hours, doubts lingered, whispering of conspiracies. Investigators delved into Lee Harvey Oswald's background, uncovering a trail of paperwork. His employment records at the Texas School Book Depository revealed a man who was both unremarkable and strangely out of place. Oswald had been hired just weeks before the assassination. His work performance was unremarkable. He was a quiet and solitary employee, yet there were inconsistencies, gaps in his story that raised red flags. His application form contained inaccuracies, including a previous address that turned out to be a vacant lot. Further scrutiny revealed that Oswald had used the alias Alec Heidel to purchase the rifle. These discrepancies cast a shadow of suspicion over Oswald's motives and actions. Investigators searched for clues within mundane documents, hoping to explain the inexplicable. The Mannlicher Carcano rifle, discovered on the sixth floor, quickly became a central piece of evidence. Ballistics tests confirmed that the rifle had fired the bullets that killed President Kennedy. The markings on the spent cartridges matched the rifle's firing pin. However, the rifle itself, a surplus Italian model known for its inaccuracy, raised more questions. Investigators traced the rifle's purchase to a mail-order company in Chicago. The order form, filled out under the alias Alec Heidel, included a photograph of Oswald holding the rifle. This photograph linked him directly to the weapon. The rifle's journey pointed towards Oswald's guilt, yet doubts persisted. The rifle's inherent inaccuracy and the difficulty of firing 3 precise shots fueled skepticism and alternative theories. The sixth-floor window of the Texas School Book Depository, forever etched in history as the sniper's perch, became a place of morbid fascination. Its commanding view of Elm Street seemed to confirm the official narrative. A lone gunman had assassinated the president. Reconstructions of the assassination placed Oswald at this window at the time of the shooting. The discovery of the sniper's nest further solidified this theory. The physical evidence painted a damning picture. However, skeptics pointed to inconsistencies in the evidence. The angle of some of the shots and the lack of direct eyewitness accounts fueled doubts. The sixth-floor window became both a symbol of tragedy and a lightning rod for controversy. It stood as a stark reminder of the assassination's enduring power to divide and captivate the public imagination. In the immediate aftermath of the assassination, theories about the events in Dealey Plaza swirled like dust devils in the Texas wind. The official narrative, pointing to Lee Harvey Oswald as the lone gunman, struggled to gain traction. The sheer audacity of the act seemed to defy logic and explanation. Many Americans sought answers in alternative theories and whispers of conspiracies. Rumors spread like wildfire. Some whispered of a second shooter positioned on the grassy knoll. Others speculated about a vast conspiracy involving the CIA, the Mafia, or even Fidel Castro. These theories, fueled by fear and mistrust, gained traction in the absence of definitive answers. They highlighted the fragility of truth in the face of trauma and the enduring human need to find meaning in chaos. Section 1. The assassination of President Kennedy was a seismic event, a shockwave that reverberated through the very foundations of American society. In the aftermath, as the nation grappled with the unthinkable, a sense of disbelief and unease settled over the land. The official narrative, pointing to Lee Harvey Oswald as the lone gunman, failed to satisfy a growing chorus of skeptics who saw shadows lurking behind the facade of the Warren Commission's findings. The seeds of doubt were sown in the fertile ground of grief, anger, and mistrust. The assassination, brutal and public, had shattered the illusion of safety and order. The idea that a lone, disgruntled ex-Marine could have single-handedly orchestrated and executed such a brazen act seemed inconceivable to many. Fueling the flames of suspicion were inconsistencies in the official narrative, unanswered questions that lingered like smoke in the air. The lack of a clear motive for Oswald, his connections to Communist Cuba and the Soviet Union, and the perplexing details surrounding the shooting itself, provided ample fodder for conspiracy theories to take root and flourish. From the hushed whispers in coffee shops to the impassioned debates in university halls, conspiracy theories spread like wildfire, weaving alternative narratives that challenged the official account and fueled a growing sense of paranoia and suspicion. The assassination, once a singular event, became a prism through which America's darkest fears and anxieties were refracted. The JFK assassination's most enduring theory involves a second shooter on the grassy knoll, fueled by eyewitness accounts and controversial audio recordings. Witnesses reported shots from multiple directions, adding to the chaos and mystery. Some saw smoke or a muzzle flash from the knoll, supporting the second shooter theory. The dictabelt recording suggested more shots than Oswald's rifle could fire. The grassy knoll remains a symbol of the unanswered questions surrounding the assassination. Amidst the chaos of Dealey Plaza, a man with a closed umbrella on a sunny day captured attention. Dubbed the Umbrella Man, his presence fueled conspiracy theories. Was he signaling, concealing a weapon, or just shielding from the sun? His true identity and purpose remain a mystery. In the years following the assassination, as distrust in the government grew, whispers of a CIA connection to the events in Dealey Plaza began to circulate. The CIA, with its reputation for secrecy and its history of covert operations during the Cold War, became a prime target for conspiracy theorists seeking to unravel the truth behind President Kennedy's death. Theories linking the CIA to the assassination often pointed to Kennedy's perceived weakness in dealing with Communist Cuba and the Soviet Union. Some speculated that the CIA, angered by Kennedy's handling of the Bay of Pigs invasion and his attempts to establish a dialogue with Fidel Castro, had orchestrated the assassination as a way to remove him from power and install a more hawkish leader. Adding fuel to the fire were revelations about the CIA's involvement in various assassination plots against foreign leaders during the Cold War. The existence of these programs, known as executive action, lent credence to the idea that the CIA was capable of carrying out such an operation on American soil. While no concrete evidence has ever surfaced to directly link the CIA to the JFK assassination, the agency's history of covert operations and its reluctance to fully cooperate with investigations has only deepened the suspicions of many. The CIA connection, a tangled web of speculation, circumstantial evidence, and unanswered questions, remains a persistent thread in the tapestry of conspiracy theories surrounding the assassination. The Mafia, with its reputation for ruthlessness and its far-reaching influence, has long been a fixture in conspiracy theories surrounding the JFK assassination. Theories implicating the Mafia often point to President Kennedy's brother Robert F. Kennedy, who, as Attorney General, had waged an aggressive campaign against organized crime. Some theorists believe that the Mafia, seeking revenge for Robert Kennedy's crackdown on their operations, had targeted President Kennedy as a way to strike back at the administration and protect their interests. The assassination in this view was a calculated act of retribution, a message sent to those who dared to challenge the Mafia's power. Adding weight to these theories were rumors of Mafia connections to Lee Harvey Oswald. Some alleged that Oswald had ties to Carlos Marcello, a powerful Mafia boss with a grudge against the Kennedys. Others speculated that Oswald had been a pawn in a larger Mafia plot, manipulated and ultimately silenced to protect those who had orchestrated the assassination. While no definitive evidence has ever emerged to directly link the Mafia to the JFK assassination, the organization's reach, its ruthlessness, and its potential motives have kept it firmly entrenched in the realm of conspiracy theories. The Mafia's shadow, a reminder of the dark underbelly of American society, continues to loom over the assassination, a chilling testament to the enduring power of organized crime and the enduring allure of conspiracy theories. In the wake of the assassination, a nation reeling from shock and disbelief demanded answers. President Lyndon B. Johnson appointed a commission to investigate the assassination. Led by Chief Justice Earl Warren, the Warren Commission shaped the official narrative. The commission's report concluded that Lee Harvey Oswald acted alone. Despite its thoroughness, the report failed to quell doubts and suspicions. Section 2. Oswald alone. The weight of evidence or a convenient conclusion. The Warren Commission concluded that Lee Harvey Oswald acted alone in killing President Kennedy. They based this on eyewitness accounts, ballistics evidence, and Oswald's background. Oswald's fingerprints were found on the rifle. Ballistics tests matched the bullets to the rifle. Eyewitnesses placed Oswald at the scene. This evidence painted a compelling picture of Oswald's guilt. However, many doubted the lone gunman theory. Critics pointed to inconsistencies and lack of clear motive. The seeds of doubt continued to grow. Section 3. Debunking the myths, scientific and forensic rebuttals. Scientists and forensic experts have revisited the JFK assassination evidence, employing new technologies to confirm or refute the Warren Commission's findings. Acoustic studies and forensic analysis consistently support the Warren Commission's findings, challenging persistent conspiracy theories. Despite rigorous testing, skepticism persists and the search for truth continues. The echoes of the gunshots in Dealey Plaza reverberate through time. Section 4. Lingering doubts, the unanswered questions, and the search for closure. The assassination of President Kennedy remains an open wound in the American psyche. Lingering doubts and conspiracy theories prevent closure, fueling unease. The Warren Commission's report left unanswered questions that vex researchers. The lack of a clear motive for Oswald and suspicions around the CIA contribute to the mystery. The assassination marked a loss of innocence for America. The idea that a young president could be struck down in broad daylight shook the nation. The search for answers continues. The quest for truth and closure remains a powerful force. The assassination of John F. Kennedy serves as a reminder of the fragility of life and the complexities of truth. The JFK Assassination and the American Psyche. The Texas School Book Depository, a monument to a day that changed American history. The assassination of John F. Kennedy continues to fascinate and frustrate. Did Lee Harvey Oswald act alone, or was he a pawn in a larger game? Theories abound, debated in books, documentaries, and online forums. The assassination serves as a Rorschach test, reflecting our own anxieties. It left an indelible mark on American society, eroding trust in government. Yet amidst the tragedy, there is a reminder of the fragility of democracy and the power of hope.